Should show you. Oh wait, let me show your. Let me show your name here. Once your name is there, you're official. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Another live stream, and a little shout out to my buddy. I got a shirt, Mr. Larry Crone.
Who's
Larry
that,
Crone?
Who's
the guy? Larry Crone.
Some guy I met somewhere around the way somewhere. Yeah.
Dude, he's awesome. Larry, you're awesome. I miss you. Can't wait till we hang out again.
So
yeah, he's great. Have you met Larry, John?
You know, I've talked to him on the computer and back and forth a little bit for different clients and stuff, but I've never talked to him in person. I've never met him. I was hoping to this year, but it just didn't work out for me to get there. Dude, how close are you,
John?
That's huge. Whoa.
My head is? My beard. This is my beard.
It's the beard. Yeah. It's the beard right there.
It is a beard.
Mike is much longer. So, like, you look like Bill. You need to shave that. It looks horrible. It looks like
it looks like you look like sheep. So John's my buddy. He lives about, I could drive to his place about a half hour away from me. And he owns Sparks Canines. You can see behind him. And John's got a good thing going because he also has an online course that he does with his clients. He's also a great dog trainer. And while I share this in a couple of groups, John, you want to do a quick bio, what you do and what your deal is?
Yeah. So group classes, do lots of group classes. I find a lot of value for clients and the dogs in the group classes. Mostly training people. I train people. Whether it's privates, whether it's semi-privates, whether it's group class, whether it's some online stuff. I'm trying to train the people because training the dogs is a very small portion of it because the dogs get it if the people get it, right? So that's where I spend all my time is helping the people get it and help them connect and work with their dog. So that's what I do. I got a center in town, so I got about 5,000 square feet commercial space in town. We do most of our group classes and things there, and then I have a board and train center here at my place where I take the board and train dogs, and of course they come back and forth with me during the day. I don't leave them there at night. At night they come back to my center. You've been here. Yeah, so they go back and forth, and then got a few different helpers that are starting out and helping us in group class, and they're starting to help work through some of the board and train dogs. We got some day training options probably we're going to start building into that. It's just finding that good, reliable, trustworthy help and having them be able to help me. There's only one me. And I get overwhelmed. We have so many clients all the time. I mean, we're booked out deep into October right now, trying to even get somebody in for a consult. So it's tough to get people in.
Well, you're doing something right, man. And you have a great space there, nice and clean. I went and visited there and watched you in your group class. And it's just cool to see how you engage with your clients and, let them work through the drills with their dogs. And it's not easy to do, man. I mean, there's kind of an aspect of public speaking that goes along with this because they're doing it in front of a group of people, right?
Yep. It's real easy to either offend people. Everybody's really sensitive these days, so it's easy to hurt their feelings. Make
not you, John.
Class, but again, if you're too soft, they don't get the value of what you're trying to say. So you have to find that balance of get the point across and get them to actually do the work. Because if they don't do it, their dog's not going to do the stuff. Live with your dog like you always did, and it's always going to be exactly what he always was. So you got to change things, and we're trying to get that change in the people all the time.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing, man. And that's what I ask. What do you so you have help, and you just said that it's hard to find that good, reliable help. But what do you say to people that tell you they want to work or work with dogs because they don't like people?
Yeah, good luck with that. Because somebody could be really good at training dogs. And I've seen people, I know people that, man, they're really good with the dogs, but they have zero interest and zero help with the skills of people. And if you can't transfer that knowledge or the working knowledge to the handler, what's the point of the training? Because if the person can't do it, the dog will do it contextually. They'll do it for me. But when they won't do it for their handler, they already know their handler and the expectations. It's all about that expectation setting. And so the handler's got to be able to learn to change a little bit and set the expectations for the dog, right? It's like other people's kids. My daughters, when they were little, they always had friends coming over. And before they even walked into my house, hey, here's the rules of my house. I don't care how naughty you are at home or how much dope you're smoking or weed or you're 12. It's like, at my house, we don't do this stuff, right? And I don't care if your parents let you walk around the house with sodas. At my house, we don't. Just give them the basic rules and the expectations. And you know what? They followed the rules. I always had, even these naughty little kids, they were really good at my house. So
yeah. Well, once the boundaries are clearly communicated and the rules are enforced, I actually find that kids and my chicken just jumped up on my window. My chicken just jumped right up on my window here. Hey, get out of here!
If I let her. We've got one chicken, right? You guys got like a posse of chickens. We got one.
Yeah, and they stalk me, man, when they're hungry, dude. It's obviously.
Yeah. We got this one chicken that showed up in that snowstorm.
She's sticking her head in the window. Get out of here.
Bring it in to have it in your lap.
Hold on, I'll see if I can get it.
Why don't you get your clicker and your chicken down, dude?
I should, yeah. Bring a poker chip and a clicker. But yeah, there's a chicken disrupting the show.
I'm gonna go get my chicken. I'm feeling left out. Where's my chicken?
I'll go get like 5 of them. If you want. I'll give you some. If you need some, let me know because I'm thinking about.
I'm on more. I think she has enough because they crap all over the place, right? There's chicken crap everywhere.
That's why they suck.
They're awesome.
Just like with the dogs.
They crap everywhere.
Wash everything, But anyway, so what I've learned. Hey Denise, hey everybody. Type in where you are down below watching us in the world. And it's very interesting to see how far this live stream gets spread. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that share button.
You got roosters too?
I do.
We don't have any roosters.
We got 3 roosters. I've named my roosters. One is named Bob Tuscan, who's named after my Jewish friend. That's actually Bob. That's Bob Tuscan. And then we have Mr. Pinstripes, and then we have Blue Steel, who is another. But
nice,
yeah,
classic.
So
I saw when you chained the chickens today. You chained them and attack Dawn when she shows up with a bag of food and dive into it. She showed that video that one day they're all diving in the bag.
Man, they're nuts, dude.
Oh yeah,
they're crazy. Kirsten says, "What's up?" from Free State Canine. What's up, Kirsten?
Hey, Kirsten.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest challenges as a dog trainer is how do you relate or not just teach the information, but make the people understand it so that they may grasp it and apply it because it's beneficial to the relationship with their dog and them. I've heard, what's that?
Oh, I said they got to break all that old habit and information too that they might have got because there's so much information now, right? Everybody's all over YouTube and doing this and that and all these kind of things, and they're trying 17. They're like everything under the kitchen sink. Let's just try that. Dog's like, what? Has no idea what they're talking about. They're not doing anything consistently. They're not creating clear patterns from the handler or building specific behaviors. It's all over the dang place. Because there's a lot of that. We even get it with clients. They'll be doing something in class and I'm like, what are you doing? That's not what we're teaching. Where did you get that? It's not in the homework. It's not in videos. It's not in what we taught in class. What is that? I think that's probably one of Chris Fraser's lines is that, what are you doing? And I ask that question a lot. What are you doing? That's not what we're doing here. I mean, if you do that, that's fine, but don't try to do 16 different things at the same time and expect your dog to ever understand what it is that he needs to do to gain his advantage. Because that's all we're ever trying to do is teach the dog to gain his advantage in whatever situation we're putting him in, right?
That's right, man.
Whether it's we're doing pressure and release with, because I do a lot of Keeler. Everybody knows me, I do Keeler style, right?
I do too.
Keeler method. And I really try to push that off to people so they really, really understand deeply what it is, not just, oh, I'm going through the motions and getting my dog to sit. No, it's why is your dog sitting? It's because it's the best option and all these kind of things, right? But it's better if you're using cookies and clickers or all that. If you're not being clear and you're not being consistent, and your dog doesn't know what the heck he needs to do to relieve whatever pressure or whatever to make his condition better, he's not going to get it one way or the other. Because I really want the dog to do and to want to do the thing because it's better for him.
Well, it opens up the lines of communication. What I tell my clients is that each step of the progress is like handing the dog a little IQ puzzle. And just like whenever we get something, we're like, oh, yeah, I got it. And then when we go to it again, we're like, boom, 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 right? If we see the same maze or do the same puzzle,
Easier the next time.
And yeah, easier the next time. And then, and not only that, but we know exactly what's expected of us. I mean, at first the abstract is very concept, or a very abstract concept. And we're like, what's going on here? And that's that kind of shaping behavior. But it's also, once they get it, we pay them, you know, and we pay them with affection, we pay them with love. And then we become that value. Our attention becomes that value. And not only that, but the relationship, in my opinion, becomes real. Because you really are showering affection on that dog because you're proud of them. They're getting it, and you're getting it, and you're working through
sincere reward, not just going through the motions. Good boy. No, it's, dude, like,
get into it. Melt into your dog, dude. Like, love
intimate petting. If you're using praise rewards, right? Get some massage. Your dog should be like, I tell everybody in class too, I want the dirt, not the dork. So it's not like you just won an agility trial. You freaking sat and healed for a second or two and like, good dog. I like that. I appreciate it. So you're, massagey petting, not, yay, you did it. It's like, don't change the route. You know what I mean? Feel that sincere reward.
Like, here we go.
There he is.
There we go. She's snoozing. I know she doesn't care. She's like, "What are you doing, Dad? You're embarrassing me, Dad." No, this is Sequoia.
Oh, Sequoia. Okay.
Yeah, but just and that's it. Is that it's actually the best way to bond with your dog too, in my opinion, because it's not it's earned, and the dog is like, "Let me show you," and who's this lady? I want that chicken. So
what's that chicken? This kid. You see, should be happier than crap. No roosters though, man. They make too much noise.
Yeah. Hey, dude. So Jason's on the board of directors at IAC now. So congratulations, my man.
Very important. I see Gretchen's on here too. Hey, Gretchen.
Yep, Gretchen, and we got Tosh from New Zealand as well. So, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I love that. I stole that the second I heard it, like, because I kind of say it all the time. I usually said it in a meaner way, but now I'm like, "What are you doing?" Right? And it's a great description of what are you doing. So check it out.
A little spin on it,
So Killer Class, I don't change up the information. I haven't changed up the information. I did change up a little bit on the presentation on how I set it up today. It was a kind of a, let me try this and see how it works, because you know how, like, I don't know. Well, you don't run like group classes like I do, but I run pretty good sized group classes. In my space, how big it is in there. On the 2,400 square foot of training floor, I'm running, 20 teams, 18 to 20 teams on there. So it's tight, especially when you have the kind of dogs that I have in. There's Boerboels in there. There's big German Shepherds, Dutch Shepherds.
Dude, look at Larry just said we look like twins.
Larry,
except for I'm more manly. I do. I'm more manly. We do.
Wait, I got it. Can I get it in there? Oh, what? Oh, that's great. Really?
I should put it up on the screen. There we go. You look like twins. Yeah. So you got sometimes crazy dogs. A lot of people.
Yeah, so I changed it up a little bit because a lot of the, so class 2 is the first time the dogs come to class, right? So class 1, people come, we show them what to do. They really learn the long line work, all that kind of stuff. The dog's learning pressure and release, and that he's in charge of his own condition of comfort, blah, 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 all that kind of thing. So class 2, it's usually pretty loud, right? Because some of these classes I'm running are 40 dogs, 40 handlers, 40 dogs, and trying to teach them the basic. And when you get into the lesson 2 stuff, it's a lot of mechanical.
You don't have dogs come first class, right?
No, not in the first one. And in the second one, I always have, and I always do. And today, people brought their dogs, but what I had them do is kennel them in the car. Let's come in and get some stuff down for the handlers before we have all these dogs in here. So same Keeler class, same everything. Don't their long line work. Hopefully they did that well, but we'll see when the dogs come in. But instead of having all the drama on the front end, then people are too busy trying to manage their dogs and keep them quiet and quit lunging at other dogs while they're trying to learn the new skills for the lesson 2 stuff. I left all the dogs out, right? So I had one client bring her dog, and I had another client bring their dog in because they've already been through class. And for me, on my group classes, if you've paid and come, you can come until your dog dies or you've got more dogs, bring them. I don't care. I don't charge them again. They can come as many times as they want.
Awesome. Come here.
But so I had all the dogs and handlers come, but I left the dogs in the cars or kenneled and we worked the handlers through. So it looked like a big old line dance, right? I was about ready to throw a get up on the tune box. We were doing a line dance with all them learning the basic how to hold the leash and how to do the leash handling mechanics and all the skills and things. And I tell you what, by the time we brought dogs in towards the end of class, most of them knew what to do, which usually it's a struggle, and they're who knows what's happening, right? There's dogs and people all over the place and everybody's doing it wrong. Because I literally, if you're doing a big class of something and you show from the first person, then you do the second person, you show them exactly what you showed the first person, and then all the way on through the line, you get to the 20th person and you're showing them exactly what you showed the first one, and they're making the same mistakes. So this time we all worked it. I had handlers working other handlers as their dog. We were going through all the motions, and we switched. Now the one's the handler, one's the dog, and we went through everything that the dog's going to do. Because the people, I can have everybody slow it down to about 20%, 10%, and let's go slow. Let's walk through this. The dog is going to give you 0 quarter on any of that, right? They're just going like, woo, so you see, there's my opportunity to bolt. So kind of like the whole talent code thing where you're building that myelin and then that muscle mind memory and that kind of thing. I'm working them through it and really getting to do a lot more deep thinking and deep practice before we had all the dogs in there. And I tell you, it was a lot smoother. There was a lot of decent handling going on. Not perfect, not fantastic, but there was a lot better handling going on than in the
typical. You do it one at a time? Like, do you let everybody come in as the class and then teach them leash handling? Do you measure them for their leash too? Like where their hand placement should be and stuff like that?
Yeah, we went through every stinking piece and every step. And I've got this all online too, so all the people, they'll get it again and they'll get to watch it again. But I want them to do the actual doing. Some people can see it and watch it and repeat it.
Right.
Other people must do.
And encounter some problems, do some simulations, do some role playing,
Yeah, we did. And then we set it up, and I had okay, now your dog drifts out. What do you do? I mean, because your dog's not going to slow down for you. Your dog, you can change your environment, make sure it's a low level distraction environment, make sure there's not a lot of stuff out there, and you can pick where you go. But your dog's still not going to slow down for you. They're going to take every sniff and everything they can do. They're going to pull on you. Whereas if you're starting to learn it with the person, we can set it up so you can at least get some practice on. Okay, this is what I do. I reckon it to like being like in a flight simulator. Don't go try to learn how to instrument land a plane in a real plane in heavy weather. You get one chance to get it right. Whereas learning on the simulator, you can crash that thing about 100 times and learn from your mistakes and make little changes to get it right. So that was kind of my theory on that. And honestly, by the time the dogs came in, people did really good. I was very pleased with how well the handlers.
It wasn't as chaotic as it typically is.
No, the chaos was down dramatically, and all the dogs were in the classroom at the same time. And the other cool thing that we did is I have a handler that came through class before, and she brought her dog. And I trust this dog. You could hit him with the stick, and he's still not going to bite you. He's pretty cool. Everybody in class got to handle a trained dog and see how their movements, their handling, everything else. The dog did it wrong because their timing was off. Because the dog knew it. We showed him, like, watch, I'll just do this. I won't do anything, and the dog will do the work because he knows me. He knows his handler. He knows what to do. As soon as these other handlers started getting their influence on there, pressure at the wrong time, stopping before they give predictable elements of their handling, the dog was doing it wrong. He was sitting in front of them. He was failing to sit, but he knows it. But they didn't know it, so it didn't transfer. As soon as they started practicing a little bit and they practiced with the other handlers, they did great, and the dog did great. It was a lot easier for them to see their mistakes, though, working with the dog that knew the stuff and just how bad their poor handling affects the dog, right? Yeah. So that was an experimental thing, and I actually really liked it. I'm going to probably continue on and do that with future classes. I'm going to see how it continues to work, but so far, dug it.
Well, and that's what's cool about what we do too, is that we kind of, we can have space to tinker with this stuff. We can have space to get it right once we see moments that are chaotic, and that's what we work on. That's why we work on polishing and calming down and just getting it into a more orderly, organized space.
Yep. Gotta get those hands physically. Do what the dogs do.
Yeah, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, love it. So we're really trying to push on the cerebral side of the people really getting the information. It's not going through the motions. It's not in the classroom where the dog's going to learn. It's the work that you do with your dog, how you live with them every day, how you handle every day. So It's a pretty big progressional build that I've got going now with the online portions. It's almost ready to go live as far as all over the place. I've got some clients kind of all over the country right now in UK and a few different places on our beta version. But it's a pretty good setup, and I think it's going to be really good for people to really understand how great Keeler can be done correctly. If you think you're going to make the dog do stuff, though, you're doing it wrong, right? Yeah. Motivate the dog to do the stuff. The dog will do it. The dog gets rewarded for doing it. Makes life good, and that's really the beauty of it. And we're really trying to push that side, because you know how it is. I mean, you've done it before. You teach somebody how to correct the dog, and that's their tool now. It's like, oh, I got a hammer, sweet, bam, bam, do it, dog. And no. Down the dog out. Now it's like, man, there's a lot of give and take there, and the corrections are a very small portion of it. It's just contrast. It's not how I get the dog to do the thing. I get the dog to do the thing because he wants to do the thing, because it works out great for him and he likes it, not because he's trying to avoid the correction. It's just contrast. Like, oh, yep, you did it wrong. Go back to what we did, buddy.
It's repetition too. You know, repetition is the mother of learning. That's what I tell all my clients. And then, you know, and just like you were saying about before, how they'll try to just kind of patchwork some stuff on top of it. I'm like, no, less is more. You know, and they're like, can I take my dog out on a walk? And I do this? And I'm like, no, we're working on this and this only. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yes. And then sometimes I'm like, give the dog a day off. You know, I'm like, today's a day off for everybody. No training, just have fun and just hang with your dog, love on your dog, get to know them. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah.
I do a ton of slow build on the dogs, because I want the dog to want to do, because I don't have to make him do it. I do the same thing when we're doing protection work, or if we're doing higher level sport work, or anything fancier, or detection work, or anything. If I have to force him to do detection work, he's not going to do detection work, right? He's got to want. He's got to do.
Well,
tracking, same thing. I can't force a dog to put his nose on the ground and find this particular smell. I mean, I could try, but unless he wants to do it, so I got to be the one that motivates him to want to do it. Or he already has the desire in there, deep in there. But I got to be the one that really enhances and helps him really see, oh, yep, that's the idea. I'm on the right track. I'm going to get all the crap that I want for doing this thing. Yep, this is the thing, right? Yeah. And I start using all kinds of stuff to really help them get it.
Well, I know
one of the things a lot of people, they don't get it with these dogs, is as soon as they start putting that, because everybody's got this addiction to holding the dog back, right? And the small check, constantly giving him information. Well, that never lets the dog think or decide or choose. And I mean, can it be helpful for certain things? Yeah, there's certain dogs where I'm going to take all his options away and say, okay, you can only do this, just because he's too crazy or he's too aggressive or whatever. But as soon as I can, I'm going to let him start making decisions and make choices. And that's the hardest thing to get people to do, because people in general are control freaks, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to manage. I don't want to manage my dog, man. I've worked with some client. Well, I had this lady that was super anxious as a client, and it was a court-assigned case where this dog bit the kid, and they wanted an evaluation, and the dog didn't need to go to heaven or anything like that. The dog just was just being a dog, you know. And I was asking the kid, I was like, what were you doing to the dog? And he was like, I was being a monster to the dog. And I was like, show me. And he was like, rah, like he went up and the dog nipped him in the lip. You know, it wasn't that bad, but it's, you know, so I got some good, solid obedience and understanding of the behavior of the animal across to the lady, my client. And just last month she was over here and she was like, man, I'm so much more calmer. I'm so much more calmer with my dog. I was always watching out for my dog. And now I'm just experiencing the moment and trusting that my dog knows what's up and knows and trusts me and watches for me. And the other thing that I do as an exercise to people is I ask them, whenever you see a dog out in public, watch how much that dog looks at their handler, whoever's handling them. Watch how much this dog turns or just looks at them with their eyes. You might be surprised. Oh, look who shows up. Show me on the doggy where he touched you. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Sure. What are you doing? I probably owe you royalties or something. Yeah. I use it every day. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah. Why are you taking this stuff from YouTube? We're telling you what to do.
You know, Chris, I say it at least probably, I don't know, a bazillion times a day, because instead of saying you dummy, I'm saying, what are you doing? And that kind of means I'm saying you dumbass. Right.
Well, I mean, now your clients that watch this are gonna
They already know. Yeah, they know. They know it's probably something. It's what do you call that? A synonym or some damn thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, what do you do? Yeah.
But it's you know, it's something that is important too. It's important for that dog to get it, you know, and it's speaking from experience, you know, on the learning and the most effective way to teach these animals.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you don't give them knowledge and experience on what to do in a situation, it doesn't matter if you're training protection work or anything else. If you're getting mad at the dog because he doesn't know what to do, you're wrong. You should be show him what to do, teach him what to do. Now he has knowledge. So instead of going primal or instinct, he's doing the thing. Cinnamon, what's up with Cinnamon?
I don't know.
I like Cinnamon. Is that her stripper name? Is that your stripper name? Sorry.
Dude, she's getting on the flight right now to come
kick your ass.
You're dead. She's gonna throw you in a kennel.
Stripper name Cinnamon. Yeah, what?
So do you see Cinnamon dips and dick?
Oh, okay, got it.
Whatever.
Dips. Did I say cinnamon? A different kind of cinnamon. Cinnamon. Did you spell that right? I don't know. I can't see it.
I don't.
I'm sitting in a toilet in TGI Fridays, so I just can't get away from my family to watch this. Dedicated. He's sitting on the toilet. Yeah, pictures there didn't happen, buddy. Whatever.
Dude, I'm getting.
I'm gonna
get a t-shirt made.
I'm gonna ask you what you're doing. Kill you.
I love it. I love it. But
yeah.
So yeah, but dude, it's going to shit, John. So your classes, how many classes are in the class? I mean, 10?
How many clients are in the class?
No. How many classes are in the series?
10 weeks, yeah. 10 week in just the basic novice class. That's our basic class. If I'm doing beginner novice, basically it's the first 5 weeks of novice.
Okay.
That's for beginner novice, and it's for the younger dogs. And I like that because I don't want like 4 and 5 month old puppies necessarily in the full novice class, because the dogs are a little younger. I want to be able to really be on people about appropriate correction, right? Goldilocks principle. Some of the older dogs are a little bit just differs. Okay, there's some of the younger ones you could crush their soul if you're not doing it correctly, and the people not understanding is where they have the problem.
Right.
I don't have a problem teaching a young dog. I could teach a 8-week-old puppy to do Keeler. Of course, I'm going to gauge it for that age of dog. I wouldn't, because there's a lot of other things that I'm doing at that point when they're that young. But I specifically break it down for dogs 4 to 8 months at the outside for my beginner novice, and we do the first 5 weeks of work, and then we kind of do a graduation and wrap it up on the 6th week. But it kind of gets them into the system, gets them the idea. All the concepts are there, but it's definitely a Goldilocks principle kind of thing, because they're younger dogs, and I still let them, if they want to use a little, a few other different methods along there, I'll show them how, and they can do that. But it's geared more for the younger dogs, because I don't want people ruining their young dogs by misapplying and thinking they know what they're doing with corrections, and they're doing it wrong. So especially when you're doing group class, it's really easy for people to slip through cracks, and then they're hammering dogs they shouldn't. And you know what I mean? And you shouldn't be hammering the dogs anyway. You should be really showing them and teaching them. 80% of the time, they should be getting it right anyway, because you're setting them up for success.
Yeah. Well, in the Goldilocks principle, I think that is important to mention is the state says something must fall within certain margins. It doesn't reach extremes, right? And so it's just kind of, it's a nice, Earth is kind of in that little belt, where life is sustained and harbored and catered to, where that's exactly what we need to do. We need to take into mind the mind of that puppy, and not set them up for failure, man.
Yep. So within that, and I know Chris and different people think different things with stuff. How ours maybe behavior and obedience are separate, and I believe that to a degree, but I also believe that proper obedience includes behavior, right?
Yeah.
So when we're showing the dog what to do, we're really shaping that behavior, and of course we're limiting options, guiding choices, controlling outcomes, all these things, and that's part of teaching people living the right way to live with your dog as far as obedience goes. That's what I really like about the way Keeler is structured. Done correctly, it's got behavior and obedience built in, right? And you can change that obedience for a lot of different things. So I'm going sport purposes, perfect. If I'm doing a personal protection dog, I still need my dog to be socially responsible with its obedience. He needs to not be like, hey, I'm targeting everybody. Oh, everybody's a threat. Everybody's a target. And I don't need him on crack all the time. I need a calm dog that can be with me. Otherwise I can't take him with me.
Yeah.
And so I like the social obedience aspect. I also need that arousal and that ability to switch into defense or fight or whatever I need him to switch to, right? To do his job as far as on the protection side. So I need both sides on that.
He's a good character, you know, a favorable character.
Yeah. Otherwise, I can't take him with me. And what good's a protection dog that you can't take anywhere because he's too freaking crazy high on crack all the time. Yeah, he's on crack. Like, look, I did threw cookies and food and tugged everywhere, and he's a psycho. Yeah. You'll see that on a lot of people's stuff. They'll post stuff and they're like, oh, this is a personal protection dog. And all they show is the dog doing agitation work. That's all it ever does. It's like, yeah, okay, where's the control side though? Can the dog be on off leash and discriminate a little bit and heal with you? And
yeah, that's what I like what Jay Jack does too.
Can I send him after the guy? Can I send him after the guy, or the guy comes up and goes after me and my dog makes that decision like, okay, this looks like a threat. Can I call him off? Like right there, right now, no leash, no e-collar, no nothing. If you can't, it's not a protection dog, it's a liability, right? So again,
I need real world protection dog, because I mean you could do that.
And it looks cool and I get lots of likes. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, it's and that's it. Yeah. I think the standards, that's the thing that I like about Keeler, is just the standards as well. And, and one thing that really attracted me about joining and taking the first class that I did with them was the fact that this place has been running since like the 40s, 1941. And they never turn away a dog, Well,
it's been scrutinized up and down and back and forth. I mean, something could be taken out of context, but if somebody really sees and understands the work, like we're putting all our stuff in some pretty good video content that's going to be available for people that aren't even necessarily, well, I've got people that that are doing it all the time. I've got people in the UK that are just very excited about how clear the work is. There's a lot of places where you can't use the e-collars and you can't use the prong collars, maybe even slip or choke collars, but they'll let them use a martingale. I don't care what collar you use. You can use a flat collar as long as it's secure. The dog doesn't escape it. The Keeler works fine for that if you do it correctly. You may have to manage your distractions in your environment a little bit more on the early side, because you're going to get less consequence value on the correction side. But okay, reward harder. If you reward harder, there's contrast between, oh, that wasn't a really hard correction, but it was not as good as the reward. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can change the value on either side and help the dog get it. It doesn't matter what tool you use necessarily. I'm not stuck on one tool or the other. Like for me, I rarely use a prong collar. Do I? Yeah, I use them for certain dogs for certain things, depending on
the case.
What's going to help the dog best and help him get it, or whatever issue we're trying to get through. For me, though, if I'm using a prong collar, it's usually to gear the dog up as opposed to try to just bring the dog down or stop him from doing something. I'm usually trying to add a little bit of oomph to the thing.
Yeah, and that's where it's hard. Do you see what Linda says here, John?
Absolutely, yeah. And I really work on that really hard. I'm constantly on point.
Linda says correctly being critical, like correctly applying, these tools. I mean, in general, but a correction. All this, and I just did a private training with a kid last night, and he told me, we were out in this work zone. These dogs were getting too close for comfort and send my dog into overwhelm. I ended up doing 3 outs and I was gone. I was out of there, and I was like, good job, buddy. Just a way to recognize when that dog's in overwhelm, and way to go. Always have like a kind of a plan B, just in case this happens, that we can, fight another day or choose our battles. But sometimes the dog's not ready for that, and that's it. This is what is the hardest thing as far as I'm concerned, is working as a professional for so long, is how do you legislate this to people that have different coordination. I mean, it just takes time, but it's a dance that you're doing with your dog.
So I explain it to him. Totally a dance, right? It's reading, and you got to read the dog. The dog's got to read you. If you're doing the stuff correctly, the dog should be reading you and responding because you've worked on it. And again, for me, it's so much about building in the proper training environment, right? Yes, I'm going to work through distraction. Absolutely. But I'm not going to start there. I'm not going to show you while your mind's completely gone. That means I'm going to have to up my correction value or tool value or pressure value, right? Whereas if I did it in low level distraction and I actually have maybe even a slow race with the dog, I teach people when they're healing, have a slow race. Like, go as slow as you can. You'll never be as fast as your dog is. I don't care if you got a two-legged dog or a blind dog. They're still faster than you and better than you, and the reaction time is better than ours. So what are you doing? Why would you race this dog? Hold on, I'm going to charge my thing up.
What's he got to do?
Or at least do PCs and battery saver mode. Hold on. I don't know if this cord's long enough. What the hell's going on over here? Hold on, Billy.
I'm
waiting. Oh, it's plugged in. There we go.
Yeah, these dogs are amazing. The other thing I was telling this kid was like, yeah, have your dog jump up on that rock. And they're like, what? And I was like, I'm like looking at him like, he'll do it, dude. Don't worry. And then the kid's like up and the dog's just like,
oh, like crazy.
And they're like, I never knew. And I'm like, man, we sell these dogs short, dude. Like, what
they could do it. Well, you've seen some of my like working dogs like Baron and some of these guys, they'll climb like construction ladders and they'll do stuff that like people are like, really can go up 2 stories on a construction ladder while it's wobbling and flip. Yep. No problem.
Yeah, no problem.
It doesn't bother them. If you taught them, they have no issue.
What's up, bitch sister? What the hell is this? Oh, Cindy Ann McMahon. She tagged her, and then now she says, "What's up, bitch sister?" So okay.
I don't even know this stuff. I didn't see the bitch sister part.
Cool. Pick set Bill. What? I don't know what the pick set.
Chris, what are you doing, Chris? What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Oh, he sent a poop picture. Did you send a picture of you pooping?
Pick sent. Oh, let me see it.
Maybe he sent you a picture of him pooping.
Oh, let me see. I could have Chris join us too if you want. I could send him a link to the thing, and he can come on here and say howdy if he wants. But
man, while he's on the pooper, that'd be great. He's out having dinner.
Let me see here. Can I share a pic? I don't know. So what were you talking about?
Is it juice? I don't know.
Dude, he better not send me a picture of himself on the toilet.
Well, look at it before you post it.
I know.
Or not.
Well, no, I'm going to look at it right now.
Who wants to see that?
Oh, he's in the toilet.
Did he? Are you going to share it, or is it not inappropriate?
I don't know. No, it's appropriate. It's fine. But I don't know how to share it. Let me see here. Share screen, no media. Here, let's see.
The world is not.
I wonder if it's going to let me do this. Here. Tab. No, here. I'm going to figure this out. Application window. And right?
Do your stuff. So Linda was talking about being correctly being critical. Yeah, they got to do it correctly, when they're doing the correction, why they're doing the correction, and how they're doing the correction, and then how much of the correction, right?
Yeah.
All right, that to me, it all comes down to all the pieces. It's got to be there.
All right, let's see here.
Did you figure it out? Now you're getting really distracting.
So.
He wants to see a picture of Shrek's ass.
There he is.
I can't see it. Oh.
Did you see him?
Did you watch your hands?
Can you see him?
God dang.
Can you see him?
Yeah, I could standing there. What's he doing?
Just standing there at the urinal. That's so awesome.
He's hiding.
All right.
He's hiding. Oh, God. My boy will just push his pants or something.
I'm going to send him a link to this in case he wants to join us.
He's in a restaurant. That's what we need.
So what are the biggest challenges that you find, dude? What are the, what are some of the, what are the, what makes your hair turn gray? That beautiful wisp.
People that don't understand what they have. Yeah, so I got some pretty sweet gray. I shaved it down a little bit, so it's not as bad. When it gets long, it's really gray. It's bad. I'm looking old. So the hardest thing is people not understanding, number one, what they have. I get tons of big, pretty hardcore dogs, some of these big Borals and things. And they usually show up when they're 2, when they start eating the neighbors and the male guy and the owners and things like that. I get a lot of those, and I get the other big mastiffs and these big rots and things. And it's the people waiting way too long and not understanding that their dog actually is what he is. He's such a sweet puppy. He'll be fine. Like, no, he's not. He's gonna hit sexual maturity in 9, 12 months, something like that. He's gonna change. Who's doing it? What now? Chris's ass. Yeah! Shrek in the house. You had to go outside because it's
yeah. So
or what?
So I had to tell I said to my wife, I go, oh, my stomach's killing me. I got to go outside. She's like, all right. And then I just come out and watch.
I can't do it on his face. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I can't either.
I'm loving the conversation. Keep going, man.
Yeah,
we're trying.
John's got a great place, dude. He's got a wonderful spot out here, and we'd love to have you out here someday, man.
Oh, I'll be out there. I just can't take all the kumbaya, the tree hugging, and the namaste.
Oh man, I hug trees all the time. Well, I'm trying to climb with my relationship. Yeah.
Namaste.
So Billy's asked me what's the biggest challenge, right? And it's that these people are freaking clueless. They don't realize that their enormous Rottweiler, big old Boerboel with big swinging pair will actually hurt somebody. They don't put, big old. I can't get it. I can't find the screen somewhere over here. But like marks all the way down through the nerve.
Show us your arm.
Your dog. Yeah.
You have your arm.
I'm trying.
No. Well, both of you guys. Both of you guys.
I get marks just like Chris all over my body, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is that if you're cleaning up somebody else's stuff, they are clueless, and it's the two things I hear most are when I get bit is, oh, he would never bite you, and then when he bites
never done that before.
Right, exactly right. and then
no, if it's done, to check and make sure you're okay. He needs to make sure you're safe and you're okay. So he's got to come check you out. Yeah, let him ride up on my nutsack and see how your 180-pound dog. What if he doesn't think I'm okay? Then what? Right?
And what about when you get bit by a dog and the handler's like in the bathroom or it's a board and train and they go, what did you do to get him to bite you?
Yeah.
I tried to train him.
Exactly. What you should have did as a parent, like his whole life. No, so Billy's been to my center, so I got I spent pretty good money setting that place up to make it safe for me because I do deal with, that's all I get is these enormous dogs, and the handler's like 100 pounds and their dog's like 160, and it's a freaking raging monster, right? So I got this big gate and railway set in, and I got a little sally port where they come in the front. It's all gated up, so I could be standing on the other side of the gate, so I don't get bit in the chest anywhere near as much as I used to, or in the guts or in the nuts. And basically get bit by people when their dog's walking in the door because they're clueless.
Yeah,
they fall down, coming in the door. Their dog drags them on their face. It's like,
drop the leash
all the time. Or they walk in and they unclip the leash. It's like, what are you doing? I thought you brought him in. You said he's human aggressive. Why are you letting him go of the leash? Oh, I wanted you to see what he does. Like, really? When I used to do house calls, it was worse. You'd show up and, hey, I'm here. Make sure the dogs are up. I'm right on time. You go knock, 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 and you get to the door, and who answers the door? The 2-year-old and the 2 Rottweilers and the pit bull. And you get just drilled by all these dogs, right? Or the kid lets the dogs out. It's like, where's the person? They're on the backyard. Who knows where they're at?
It's weird.
Constant.
It's constant. And people, what's funny is that out here in Massachusetts, I'm in Massachusetts right now. They're making a bill that you can't have a dog that lives outside. And there's a lot of people that do mushing and stuff like that. And what it is that when people get scared because a dog bit someone, the people who actually have control over their dogs are the ones that suffer. There's always legislation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so if a pit bull attacks somebody, I have to do an expert witness thing where the 3 pit bulls jumped out a window and killed a German Shepherd. Well, now it's let's ban pit bulls. Well, I'm a pit bull guy. And we're trying to help, but people don't take the help. And then there's legislation that flushes us at the same time.
Yeah, couldn't we ban the stupid people instead? Wouldn't that be easier? Or the people that don't do anything with their dog and actually charge them? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, train your freaking dog. If I'm going to walk around with the gun and pointing it at everybody with my finger on the trigger and accidentally shoot people.
Is that your family, dude? Are you going to be in trouble?
Do they follow you?
No, they're done. Hey, good chatting with you guys. I got to go get my nuts taken away from me. I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining us, buddy. He's got to go.
No, but what Chris is talking about, right? It's like, how is it the dog's fault? You're the one that never taught him anything, and you're taking this loaded gun and running around all over the place pointing it at everybody.
Yeah, your lack of preparation does not constitute as an emergency in my, or
nuts. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah,
John, I
they let their dog bite.
Obedience class, my Dogo Argentina a few years ago with Kelsey Burrows and Hunter too. I live in Belize now. You're a terrific trainer. This is from Terry. And
hi Terry.
Started a Presse Corsa, John. This afternoon, you'd love her. I'd love him. Christopher Fraser, you need to figure out how to have multiple people on. It's a Be Live thing. I don't know that you can do it on the Facebook. I breathe. Last time in home lesson I ever did was bullshit. I wanted you to see the full effect of the dog behavior at the door. Yeah, dumbass. I trusted you when you told me that on the phone. Yeah. I trust you. Right? You can send me a video. You know, I don't need to experience that full. You know,
yeah, I've never been bit by a naughty dog before. Yeah, I need to get bit by yours just to make sure that it's the same as every other dog that doesn't know crap and bites me. Yeah, perfect.
Well, the thing is, too, man, is that not only is this thing puncturing my skin, but this thing is puncturing my skin with like a gazillion bacteria, you know. And I've been on that. You know, I've been on all this. Like, if you get bit, you know, I had a bite get a really bad infection, and it was on all these crazy ass antibiotics, you know. So it doesn't just affect me in the painful moment; it affects you for quite a while, and then you got to rebuild your body's gut flora and you know and. Yeah. All that stuff, man, and it's no
hospitalized fun. A few times now from just little nicks. You know, it's not even the big bites. The big bites, I always make sure I take care of and irrigate and all that kind of stuff. You know, the ones that are Q-tips are hanging out of it. It's the little nicks or the ones where the dog just grazes you and you don't really take care of it, and then you get the blood infection. It's bad. I was in the hospital for quite a while with on IV antibiotics because of a nick. Maybe it was nothing. I get bit worse than that by my own dogs all the time. And playing with them, right?
Yeah, and that's the risk that people take as a professional that works with these animals, you know. And so we appreciate it when people consider that, you know, and don't just let their dog go crazy.
I love people to get it right. They got like Terry Dodge, man. She came to class. She did it. She came in and showed up. I mean, people are nervous when they come in with their big dog, especially because my classes are usually full of women. And you know, that's just common. And like this morning, I think there was one or two, Kimmy's on here, she'll know, there was one or two male handlers, maybe one. And out of 16 or 18 or however many was in there, it was all women.
Yeah, 85% of my clients, 85% or more.
Yeah, always. Yep. And you will get guys in too, but I mean, there's so many on the female handler side, and a lot of them are these really big. They're dangerous unless they're trained. I mean, they're great dogs, but not trained, man, talk about they're a liability. That's bad.
Very high maintenance dogs. You know, even training, you know, these dogs, it's something that is, you know, these dogs are working breeds, they're powerful breeds, you know, and they take somebody who needs to be an assertive but understanding handler. And they need to connect with this dog, you know, and that's it. Is like, you know, there's certain breeds that appeal to people, but you know the bully breed is they can be high maintenance, man.
Yeah,
and super fun. Rotties, German Shepherds, Dobermans, you know, those Dogo Argentinos, you know, all of them. You know, they can be the Mastiffs. You know.
And Terry says, so true. Most men think they know how to handle dogs. And that's exactly true. What they do is they come in and they try to handle the dog.
Hammer.
And
they think
in Terry's case, a lot of these people's cases, what happens is the gal comes in and she learns how to communicate and build a relationship with the dog and learns how to handle the dog.
Yeah.
And a lot of these gals will not let their husbands touch their dog anymore because the husband tries to force it.
Yeah.
Right. And mom has learned how to finesse it and how to get the dog to work for them. The dog's actually their servant as opposed, and I stole this from Chris too, but instead of serving their dog and making their dog do stuff, the dog's learning to serve them to get what they want.
That's right.
So,
well, and it becomes that relationship, you know, when what's that?
Oh, who's serving who? You know, I hear that Chris says that all the time. It's like, who's doing what for who? Why are you doing all this dog's work when the dog should be doing the work? That's right. Why are you giving him everything he wants when he's not doing it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, and that's the thing too, is that once you understand the relationship, you know, it's like it gets uncomfortable if you try to force that stuff, man. And you can see it. You can see it with waxed over look on the dog's face when I see people that are trying to show me finished dogs on YouTube or whatever, you know, instead of showing me that tail wagging the dog, looking up, having a good time, or engaged. And you know, that process of building a relationship is important as well. Yeah. And I think that's what women get, you know, and a lot of times they're trying to think with their emotions and trying to intuitively be nurturers because we're nurturers by nature as human beings, not taking into account the predator mindset and all that stuff, and how that being that nurturer can make you kind of a sucker in that dog's eyes, right? And so we introduce that logic. We introduce these skill drills that incrementally build trust and structure for that dog to realize that this person does have substance that they can follow and admire, and the relationship is built. And that's where that's where the true positive reinforcement comes in, because that's when you're loving up your dog because you're freaking proud of them, man. And it's real, and that's where I want to be. I don't want to be bribing my dog. I don't want to.
Yeah, reward-based training is freaking awesome, right? Because that's what we do. A lot of people don't realize that Keeler is reward-based. The dog's doing the things because of the reward value.
Yes.
Is there some escape avoidance stuff in there? Well, of course. And there's with most training things. Hold on a second.
Well, but I mean, after a wonderful walk, I'll go and cook my dog some scrambled eggs, man. Or I'll make him some, just something that I'm just grateful for him, and love him up and massage him and right. So I like the contrast too of like, look, dude, you need to be as believable with those corrections as you are with that affection. Otherwise,
because right? Yeah, if you don't provide any kind of contrast, then the dog has nothing to base it on. If it's all unicorn milk and rainbows, then why would I make a choice? It's always the same. I always get unicorn milk and rainbows.
Terry did,
no matter what I do.
Treat trainer in her country down there. Yeah, treat trainers appeal to the masses, but unfortunately, the dog encounters what's called competing motivators out in the real world. And treat training can work in controlled environments and
choices. Yeah, there's more choices out in the real world too, right?
Yeah.
A dog's going to beat you.
Oh, that's so mean to yank their neck.
Terry knows. Yeah.
Well, it's what I got from Keeler too is the long line stuff, man. And knowing about, or the longe line, how they call it.
There's lots of choice, and the dog gets to decide. There's lots of time to decide. There's lots of learning going on. It's a puzzle based system, right? That you're teaching the dog. What's the first puzzle he's got to solve? So that we're actually attached.
Yeah, we're attached.
We're actually attached.
Yeah.
And at the end of the line, what can I do at the end of this line? Now I can hit it really hard, and I didn't like that, or I can hit it kind of soft and test where the end's at, right? Or I can not hit it at all by staying just that 1 inch closer to my handler, maintaining that distance, right? So they're solving a very simple puzzle in the first couple of days, and that's really all we're asking them from them. Where you get into problems is people that start competing with their dog, and they go out and over challenge and start adding a bunch of distractions on that early work, and the dog hasn't solved the first puzzle that, hey, we're attached on the line and I'm in charge of my own condition of comfort. If you miss that piece, that's a problem, right? Because now you're competing with your dog and trying to pound him you're trying to use correction where correction isn't even warranted. And that's where people start getting into trouble. They start building frustration with the dog and all kinds of problems. He's got to solve each piece of the puzzle, each step of the way, before you can move on. Day 3, before you add distraction or much distraction, what does he got to solve on the long line or your longe line? What's he got to solve?
That pay attention
I need to stay close to my handler to keep my handler from turning and leaving me. If he turns and leaves, to keep myself comfortable, I have to turn and leave with him. That's the puzzle, right?
Right.
And then day 4, what do we do?
And a pretty simple, very, very not exaggerated necessarily, but it's the movement that you would make in the real world, and that's it. Is like, yeah, you're showing the dog, look, this is what happens. This is the indicator of like, look, I'm turning this way. And the dog's like,
Chris said, that's my definition of engagement. That'd be like where I give a chick a ring and I kind of committing to her and we're planning on getting married, but I don't really want to commit that much yet. You just like, you're talking with dogs. With dogs. So Chris, we never talked about it, but I
definition of engagement. So engaging with the person, and
the dog, right? So for me, engagement and attentiveness are two different things. If a dog's being attentive to me, it means I'm relevant to the dog. He knows that, okay, if I know where my person's at, I can maintain my condition of comfort or restore my condition of comfort, especially when we're talking long line and leash work, right? Engagement is a completely different thing. And it's something that I'll use when I'm doing different types of work. That's kind of he wants the toy, he really wants the thing and he's working for it. my view of it is the dog needs to push me if he wants any of that stuff to appear, right? It's only going to appear. He's working with me. He's working. Yeah, I'll do the joke, Sparks. Say, whatever, man. I'm trying over here. Come on. Because you're a comedian. You look like Shrek. Doesn't mean I can't come try something.
Hey, dude, I used to do. I did stand-up comedy for a while too. Laughs Comedy Club, Comedy Cafe in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Come on. I'm trying here. I'm trying to get your foot in the door. You take me on tour.
All right. So pushing to get that behavior, like engage.
I did a lot of stuff with Michael Ellis on engagement, right? Like that's what we did. We did tons of engagement work, and that's using all your food, getting your dog focused and in on you, and really thinking about all the great things, making you the most exciting thing in the world, which to me is different than attentiveness. The dog is on attentiveness side, which is what we teach, is like on our social obedience. Like, hey, it's your job. You may want to look out for your welfare. You may want to do the right thing. Engagement is, for me, when I get into deeper levels of it, it's the dog really pushing me to work because he knows that doing the work is going to get him what he wants at some point, or at least he hopes it does. He's working on hope as opposed to expectation, right? So it's a different thing, and I don't teach it for my basic obedience. I don't want that. I want attentiveness. If I'm teaching more sport and arouse type obedience and that kind of thing, then I'll go for more of the engagement thing. And it's maybe it's mincing words a little bit, but for me, attentiveness and engagement are different. Shong, what?
Namaste. No. So attentive, versus, the engagement is, that interaction, but the willingness to explore with that handler and with that dog based on their own kind of intrinsic desires, intuitive motivators and all that good stuff. So that the dog will, feel comfortable enough, to show, the handler, but it's also important that handler recognizes and engages with that dog too, and speaks kind of, knows that dog individually, I guess tailoring it to their specification, their wants and desires, That makes sense.
See them wrinkle.
Dude, turn on the other one that you
you want me to go special ops? I'll go special ops, man. We're going. We got to figure out how to do it here. Hold on.
Almost this is what John came on, and we were trying to figure out what the heck is going on with him, but it was making me laugh my head off.
I might not do it right.
I think engagement is definitely trust. Trust is rapport. I tell people rapport is power. Building rapport, building trust with that dog or with any relationship, is powerful. So.
Do it, Bill. I don't know, it won't change now. I did it.
In your opinion, is the dog engagement for you or the reward? So what does it say? In your opinions, is the dog?
So for me, it's for me. So the dog's expectation on the for giving the engagement may be the reward early on. Later on, so even if my dog has the reward, my dog's engaged with me because I teach it to become habit, and that's really what I want that dog working with me, that team partner kind of thing. If I'm doing engagement work, so I can show you like my working dogs. They could have all this. They could have a pile of toys in their face or tugs or the decoy, and as soon as I say, they do. It's true engagement, and what people call engagement. I don't know if I did this right. Okay, there we go. I couldn't get the IR camera to work.
Come on, hop up. Ash is trying to jump up on my back. Come on, buddy. Hop up. Get up here. Ash.
Is it Ash?
Come on.
Ashel.
Oh, shoot. He just fell off the chair.
Nice, Bill. Break your dog right in front of everybody, man. That was great. I'm going to call
Yeah, can I get a water, please? Ash tried to jump on my back.
Get a water and a Band-Aid for my dog.
Oh, shit.
I'm just yeah, the engagement's got to be with me or the word never shows up.
Crazy live stream, man. Can you enhance engagement with correction? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yep. I usually use correction is just giving information to my dog. I'm just giving him information. Hey, dude.
Yeah.
Wrong answer. Let's fix it, or not quite right. Let's fix it.
Dude, I remember when I was doing kickboxing and stuff, man, or if I was working for the sensei when I wasn't doing something right, he would give me a correction and be like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
What are you doing?
And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being, kind of put in check and interrupted, and just be like, "Knock it off. What are you doing?" And sometimes, yeah, absolutely, the engagement can
So
be enhanced with the correction, I believe. To me, true
I use it all the time.
engagement is when a dog is thoroughly wanting to complete when asked, not place complying, placidly compliant, actively working with the handler. Yep, that's engagement. Absolutely.
And I can get that on the attentiveness side too. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter what the reward is. I use different rewards for different things and at different stages of training, depending on what I'm trying to work on with the dog. For me, again, for all these pet dog things, I need that social attentiveness and that willingness to do the thing because it is the thing that you've been taught to do. Dogs don't care if it's right or wrong. They care if it works for them or if it doesn't work for them. They're selfish.
Yeah, an opportunity,
Chris,
man.
About that. Where'd you go, man?
Who?
What?
Can you see me?
I can see you.
What did you just say?
Saying it doesn't matter what I'm using for reward. It doesn't have to be toy. It doesn't have to be food. It doesn't have to be, it can be just me doing the work. Right.
Yeah.
I built a ton with praise and I can get a dog that looks like he's working for a toy or food. Matter of fact, I posted a video on one of my pages or something. It's years ago. It's a little pity thing.
Dude, look at
broken little,
a little
pit bull
tug.
She works like a machine.
They made me a little tug for my little dogs.
Tiny bite pillow.
Tourist did. Yeah, here, let me see. Yeah.
Tiny dog, tiny bite pillow.
Hey, what do I got? What do I got there, huh?
Now you gotta learn how to use it.
What do I got? What do we got? Look at her. She's like, yeah, now you're talking, buddy.
Good up, Bill.
There you go. She's like, what's he got?
I'll do stuff for this.
Huh?
That's working for the thing.
Huh? Good girl.
Do I ask for engagement or is it given? I don't ask for it. The dog's got to give it, right? So I was dealing with one of my sport competitor clients that he's in a club and they have club trainers and stuff, but he always comes up here when he's screwing it up because they're trying to get it through correction and through punishment things. They're trying to get the dog to willingly give engagement. It's like, well, so you're trying to get him to do by telling him to don't. They're popping him realistically with like the prong collar, e-collar, whatever, because he's flushing forward or doing whatever else. But they're also rewarding him after they correct him and the dog fixes it. Well, I backed him way up. That why don't you just stand there and do nothing, assume your attention position or your heel position or whatever your position is, and wait till the dog gives it up. If he gives it up, by all means, then pay him. But if he's not giving it to you and you have to ask for it, tell him nope, wrong. Early on, you need to back up to the basics to get the dog to actually offer it. If he's offering it, then I can pay it. So no, I'm not asking for the engagement. He needs to give the engagement for me to do anything. Right?
Can I get
the dog's got to be
engaged?
Bill to engage. I can't get Bill to do shit.
No, I'm kind of my own guy, dude. You can't. The more people want me to engage, the less I do sometimes.
I probably have to hang the reward up here in front of say, hey, Bill, here it is. But
well, I mean, with money, you know, who knows, man? Money, there's a price for anything. Johnny, anything, John.
Just
so you know.
So, so back onto all this stuff that we're talking about, like, so our base class, I do tons of it. It's our novice class or our beginner novice. It's all the same kind of thing. It's just teaching people the basic stuff to get social responsibility and behavior out of their dog in a very simple way. And then we have a lot of advanced classes where we are teaching that. So like, so Chris, when you're asking, can I get the dog to engage? I can start showing them and start showing them the value of doing a behavior for me. So if I'm doing detection work, I do a ton of detection work. It's super fun. And my dogs drive into it. And actually, if I'm using any kind of what people would call corrections with like correction collars or pressure or pulling on leashes or harnesses or whatever, it's actually to drive the behavior even deeper because I'm actually using that opposition reflex and driving the dog forward. Even though I'm pulling back or just driving him forward, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. I tell people this all the time. Your dog doesn't want to crate. You can push on his butt and try to get him in the crate, or you can hold him back and toss something he wants in there and then hold him back. And then anytime he tries to dodge for the crate, whether he's trying to escape from you or whatever it is, you hold him back a little bit. Pretty soon that dog will go into the crate like a rocket because you use that opposition reflex. You let his own drive and desire push him into the crate.
Yep.
You start pushing on his butt, though, he's not going to go.
Dude,
you're going to create the opposite.
I just watched a chicken run by my window with a mouse in its beak. My chickens are hardcore, dude.
Chickens are monsters. I'm trying to put Linda's thing up on the thing so I don't have to look sideways. What is it?
Switch the meaning of what that dog was. I mean, what that dog was used by using its own drives, you know?
You always use their own drives. I'm always trying to use their own drives if they're offering it, right?
Right.
If the dog's not offering the thing, then what am I doing? Why am I? What are you doing?
Well, we're offering that we're using their own drives to generalize as well. To generalize, look, this is the same as it was when there was no stimulus here, and then here's a prey drive or defensive or that social drive, and you know, and here let's see, working through similar issues with mature adult retriever 2 titles has started blowing up at dogs. While at training days or tests slow them down, work through delay gratification. Yep.
Yeah, back it up.
Yeah.
Back it up where the dog was successful. Make sure the dog actually understands what's being successful. Because right now the dog thinks blowing up at other dogs is very rewarding and finding the success in that. You can try to punish it out, but you're just going to slow other things down and you could have a lot of fallout. So instead of doing that, I go back to work and like, dude, what are you doing here? Have him do the right thing, get back to the basics of it and make sure each piece of it's correct and then go forward. And it's usually a pretty quick trip down memory lane to help the dog get it right again. That would take ability to read and touch.
It. Yep, absolutely. It's gold.
Yeah,
I love that too. And then, and that's what I think what you were talking about while you were switching up that little Keeler class, the second class when they're bringing their dogs for the first time, and you actually backed it up, just like, and you were delaying the gratification for those dogs coming in and doing so. You were structuring, you know, what exactly. Because
wait till next week I start kicking all the handlers' asses, because if they come walking in the door with their dog dragging them in, I'm going to tell them, wrong, go back to your car, just like I always do, right? I'm looking out the front door as they're coming up, and I'll be hollering at people. And they know, if you're going to come to my class, I'm going to hold you accountable. Your job is to show your dog, teach your dog, and then proof it and hold them accountable. They know what's coming.
Well, and they're paying you money, you know, and that's the thing, is that
paying me money to be mean to you. So I'm gonna hold you accountable. That's what you're paying me for.
Yeah.
I'm not. You're not paying me money to, oh, you're doing a great job while your dog's eating somebody else's dog and dragging you down. No, I'm not gonna foster that. I don't do it. So we'll get it. Sometimes people are like, John's mean. And like, well, somebody's got to hold you accountable, because if you want help, I will help you. I can show you exactly what to do with your dog. I've created, all of my dogs are hand-me-downs. I got a 180-pound Boerboel or 170-pound Boerboel laying at my feet right here. He was mean. You met him, right? You met
he wants to eat me.
He wasn't the friendliest guy. He'd ignore the crap out of you these days. You met him when he was just in for all my dogs are somebody else's broken monster, right? They're all monsters. My little ones are 80 pounds. My big ones are all the way from 140 plus. They're big and super aggressive, but they're cool. I have them around classes. I have students handling them. They're easy. They're good to go. They know what to do, and they're offering. There's a chicken with the mouse in its beak walking by my window filter.
Yeah, they're crazy. That was pretty badass. So I was like, what the hell is that, man? And it's just this mouse just laying there. The chicken is just like, do, 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 do. You know, nature's metal, dude. And that's
the owners are harder to teach, big time.
Well, the owners, and that's the thing, man, is I get frustrated with these dogs that are powerful breeds. I'm like, who worked with this dog previously? The dog's 3 years old. And they're like, nobody. And I'm like, you guys, I mean, why did you get this dog? I mean, a lot of it's, I think, just the looking at dog and the social media dog, you know, the status symbol dog, where they don't even take into account the brain of this dog and until it starts to get into a situation where they're like, whoa, we can't control this. Let me put it over to this dude here. And it's like they think that I have the magic solution. It's like, no, this is behavior. It's a process that we need to figure out, you know, this dog and then start to, you know, make the process that this dog needs to understand that this behavior is unacceptable. But do you ever get these people that come in, dude, and you're just like, let's get rid of the dog?
Well, yeah, quite honestly, on a serious note, there were some people that came in the other day. And they don't talk about this stuff all that often, but they had a big dog. They thought it was I don't even say the breed, but they thought it was a breed, and it wasn't. It was a big LGD or livestock guardian dog.
Okay.
And it was 2.5, 3, and
serious dog.
Damn aggressive. It had their number. And I asked them, how much work are you willing to put in for this dog? How much money, how much work? Because I mean,
yeah,
we can change that, but I mean, he's a dangerous dog, because he was flat out aggressive and dangerous. He'd attack the neighbors and attacking them in the house and things. And he's big. They didn't want to put the work in. I said, well, I guess that answers your question, right? You can't rehome the darn thing. Who are you going to give it to? So I think they did what was necessary and put the dog down. With some dog they picked up somewhere about a year old, and it started challenging them right off the bat, and they never dealt with it, you know. And he was big, and you know how you get a lot of dogs that'll threaten maybe to growl, and Chris posts videos and shows things of that all the time, right? About some of these dogs, they're just being scared and they're just barking out because they're in a confined space and they're being held back, so they have no other option. But if you go towards them or whatever, they'll back off, and Chris shows it. Like Carnivorous Poultry Bathroom Picks. I'm sure we're trying to be obvious.
I love it. I'm the entertainment guy. Dude, I've dealt with some serious livestock guardian dogs, man. Serious.
Yeah. But scary thing, because this dog would have hurt them. And they weren't committed to helping the dog. I mean, who else is going to commit to a big dog that's aggressive as hell and wants to eat people?
Nobody.
Where are you going to do it? Who are you going to rehome that to? So, I mean, I told them, honestly, do the right thing. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not telling you, put your dog down. But, I mean, if you're not willing to help it, you don't want to spend the money to pay somebody else to help it, you're not willing to do the commitment that you're going to need to put into this dog kind of lifetime, because he's freaking aggressive.
Yeah, management.
Give him a cheeseburger and a dirt nap. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And quite honestly, if it's that aggressive, why not? I mean, you could help it, but you got to be committed. They're not committed to help it. So what are you going to do?
You got to be honest as a professional, and that's it.
Yeah, and I'm honest with people, and I think they really appreciate that honesty. And honestly, they're coming to me with their other dogs who are kind of out of control. They're smaller dogs that are also displaying not aggressive towards them behaviors, but inappropriate behaviors around the house and running the fence lines and barking and all kinds of stuff,
Yeah.
So I'll totally be able to help them with those dogs because they're committed to them. This one they were just scared of. And if you're scared of your own dog, man, it's going to be hard to help you if you're scared of the dog and you're not willing to do the work. Because fear is going to get you hurt. I'm not scared of these dogs. I get a lot of these big dogs that come in and people are like, well, are you going to handle my dog? And I'm like, I know he's going to bite me. If he wants to bite me, and I can tell some of these dogs, I know he's going to put teeth on me. If it's 160, 170 pound Boerboel, I'm not going to do it in the eval. Why would I? I know he's going to nail me. I can tell, because some of these dogs are flat out committed, and certain lines if they're going to bite you or not.
Oh yeah.
What's the point? I don't need a big monster dog dragging me to the floor, because some of them will. They're big.
Yeah. Well,
the one he took me on the floor and got me down. He's weighed the same amount as I did. I'm not tiny, and he put me on the floor. I ended up having to kill that dog just to get him off me.
Yeah, that was so. John had an incident about a year or 2 years ago, right?
It was a year in July. Yeah.
Oh, a year ago. Yeah. Yep.
Pretty good. He was intent on putting me down. Right. I mean, that dog was like, dude, I'm not stopping.
Yeah, these are predators, and these predators. Yeah. I tell people, what's that?
Oh, some of them are pretty scary too. Some of these dogs are committed; they'll go forward, and it can happen. Yeah. So I'm real honest about it with people, and like, don't mess around with the dog that weighs as much or more than you. And if you're afraid of him, and he's already challenging and he's pushing you, you either get real serious, real quick about helping that dog learn those boundaries and start training him and do some management along the way, or get rid of the dog. Don't live in your household afraid of this big, large animal and serve him. Because at some point he's going to be like, I don't like your service today. And he's going to tell you about it, and it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
Right. That last big guy that got me, I've been working with him for quite some time. He had a couple of screws loose, I think, because I own his brother too. And his brother, he's been pretty good. That one, I had him for quite a while, and he was a working machine. He loved working, but he'd still challenge on occasion. Even after I'd gone toe to toe with him and said, that's not going to work. He'd look for his opportunity.
Amen.
And he'd go for it. Yeah. About every 5 weeks, he'd bring it up and try to challenge it, and he was game. Once he challenged, he'd go for it. I'm going to get you.
Phil sounds like a hugger. I'm a hugger. I'm good. No, I'm not a tree hugger. I don't care.
My wife says, Bill is just a hugger. Yeah, Bill, to me, I hug Bill, right? Bill, I'll hug you, man.
I'll hug you, dude. I'll hug you anytime. Johnny and I used to we shared a hotel room.
Yeah, that's right. Going on right there.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying about that.
Billy, come on now,
brother. Your wife is right. Oh my gosh.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm a hugger. No, but John, and I think that's important for people to hear this stuff because, I get dog bites sent to me all the time. I mean, of people with their scalps like ripped open. And I mean, it's pretty gnarly what some of these dogs, these crazy, powerful breeds can do. And that's what Linda was saying up here. Lots of that is an epidemic. I see tiny women with giant molosars and battle breeds in the past few years. So,
and I have classes full of them, right? Because there's breeders all over the place that are pumping out these dogs. Which, I mean, if there's a desire to have them, somebody's gonna breed them and break them. Book back dog training. That's right.
I wish I knew how to quit you. I wish I knew how to quit you. Where's that cowboy hat?
Really put this up. Cindy Ann McManus makes a good point, right? They get them as cute puppies. I go over this in class all the time because I get a lot of these people from the breeders. They'll send them to me, and they'll come to puppy class, right? And I'm flat out honest with them what this dog's going to be. Oh no, he's such a cute puppy. He's just lovey-dovey, doopy-doopy-doo, and like, dude, because he's a puppy. That's what a lot of babies are cute and nice. I was cute and nice at one point in time, maybe, possibly. No, I'm not anymore. You know what I mean? But I mean, they're puppies. Of course, they're sweet and they're cute, and they don't eat you yet, right? Unless it's a bull terrier or some of these other little dogs that'll chew you up. But most of these little Borbals and band dogs and things like that we get through, when they were puppies, of course they were sweet. Start setting the pattern now. Start showing them. That's why I do table work. I have a very clear line of everything that we do. I do a lot of food luring and things and experiential learning for the puppies when they're little. It's all your social responsibilities, which means you can ignore stuff and work with your handler, the take-risk engagement. But learning to work with your handler and then learning the handler is more interesting than everything else on the planet. I'm not boring and dragging and letting my puppy drag me around the planet. And teach my puppy that, dude, engaging with me, that is your life. That's what we do. Anytime you come out of the kennel, you're working for me. You are my, we're together, we're partners, let's do this thing, or you're my bitch, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm the most interesting thing, right? From puppy. And people, they bring their puppies and they don't train. They let their puppy run around their house, eat their shoes, eat their coffee table, chase their cats, and they don't do the early work. And then they wonder why, when this dog is now 60 pounds, they can't do its nails. You know, and it's not even started. I mean, it's 4 months old, 5 months old, 60, 40, 50, 60 pounds.
And they think you're going to fix it, dude. And it's like, man, I can only do so much in an hour, you know?
I got to fix you, not the dog.
Yeah, I got to fix it. And there's
nothing wrong with the dog. He's being a dog. Yeah. I got to fix you because you've taught your dog that you let him act like a freaking a monster in your house and eat your friends and eat your. I got one in for board and train right now, and he attacks their guests. I mean, the dog's trained. He doesn't attack my guests. He doesn't attack people coming into the training center. Yeah. He heals when I tell him to. He doesn't attack my dogs. He doesn't attack the chickens. He does his job because, dude, you're at work. You're always at work. There's never a time when I say it's okay for you to go do your thing. And you know what? I have the ability to apply either correction or limit his options. He's either on leash or he's on e-collar or something. And I don't give him the opportunity to go act like a complete McGrew without any kind of interruption or disruption or penalty. That's right. You don't get to go do that. You want to growl at the dog in the kennel next to you? There's a penalty. Whether you have a collar, there always is. There's a penalty phase for doing that. You do the right thing, well, there you go. You get to be all comfy and life is good. Yeah. But you're not going to attack the other dogs just because they're walking by or they're drinking out of they're looking at you while you're drinking out of your water bowl. Enjoy your water, dude, but shut up. Don't growl at the dog. Don't bark at him. Don't try to attack the kennel because he's sitting there. Not acceptable. Yeah, you can't do that. I don't have to be hard with the dog.
Same thing when we were kids. Like, you don't go steal that other kid's food in the cafeteria. You know, you don't.
There's consequences.
Yeah, there's consequences, and not only that, but there was people that were minding to make sure that didn't happen. If you walked over because the kid might have been a little weaker, then somebody would grab you by the shoulder. They would work on the staff or whatever and be like, "I don't think so. Why don't you go sit in the office? We're gonna have a little chat about your behavior here." You know.
Well, it's like on recess, right? That's why we have playground monitors, because little John probably tried to steal your lunch money or swing or sell you the swing because I took it and now I'm going to sell it to you because I own it. We're gonna do. We're always going to seek our advantage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah,
no picking fights.
Well, and like
if I'm sitting in the back seat, poking at my brother, I'd see mom's eyebrow, and I knew the gig was up. She caught me being a dork, and I was probably going to get a knuckle sandwich. You know, don't. What are you doing, Chris? It's the same thing with dogs, but people are like oblivious. They just let their dog do all these things, and it's so cute because he's a puppy. Oh, look how cute it is! He's running up and jumping on you. Oh, cute! He loves to mouth my arm. This is my favorite one. These big aggressive breed. Oh, I got holes in this arm too. I got holes everywhere. But you know, he's mouthing. He thinks it's cute, and then it's not cute because he's big, and it starts putting on pressure. And now he starts getting a little bit more drive and aggression as he gets to sexual maturity or even emotional maturity when he gets older, right?
That's right. Well,
what are you doing?
That's what Linda says right here. If people just apply these things to the period in a dog's life when that information impacts future decisions or the formative years, so we're basically making a format for the later programming in life, and we want that
format your drive.
Yeah, we want that format to accept a pretty big life, right? And so, and then there would be far less dog bites in the world, absolutely. But people think puppies will grow out of that. No, they grow into it. Great point, Linda.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Check it out. So I'm gonna try to shoot a video. I meant to last week and I just didn't because I'm a slacker and a loser. But Monday night I'm gonna take in
software. Yes, the format of you.
I'm gonna shoot a video on Monday night at puppy class. I've got a guy, one of my previous students. He was probably in the class with the Terry on here or something. I don't remember days, but anyway, he's got a puppy right now. It's a singleton. It's a little bully breed, drivey little thing, right? It's just like a machine. And it was a singleton. He got it at 5 weeks old. His friend's dog had a puppy and he got it at 5 weeks old. And I said, well, it's doable. Here's what we need to do. And he goes, how early can I start working this dog? I go, man, when the eyes are open and the dog's starting to follow you, and we can start working it right now. So I have him start imprinting with food work. The dog hasn't even seen it. It's probably eaten out of a bowl 3 times. It's 13 weeks right now. It's probably eaten out of a bowl 3 times in its life. This dog heels, automatic sits, stays, downs, places, touches, all this stuff. It's 13 weeks old. It comes into puppy class and with 15 other puppies in there, it's doing all the stuff off leash, rocking it. Doesn't know how to get along with other puppies? Not so much. Yeah, it's not an app. It's just constantly continuing. Yeah.
It's a lifelong.
We can even just install a piece of hardware. No, it's software. It's constantly changing. We have to add it. Yeah. But yeah, so this puppy, dude, at 13 weeks old, it's better behaved than most people's sport dogs. It's that attentive. It's that focused. It's that driven. Whether he's got food or not, that dog's just a machine. It'll transfer right to me. The dog does it for me. It does it for his fiance. Does it for him. That's all it knows. It doesn't know anything other than work and have fun with the work. It thinks work is a game, and because that's what he did. That's what I try to get people to do. And it's really hard to get people to actually do the simple things. The puppy you get a ton of stuff done when it's little.
I just want him to be a dog. I just want him to be a dog, John. I don't want to break his spirit.
You get so excited.
I don't want to break my dog's spirit, and
yeah, you don't want to break his spirit.
So bad. I just feel
you might want to break his spirit once he's chewing off your freaking face. Right? No, I've never broken a dog's spirit. Right.
I don't want to either, man. That's what I'm like. What is that?
I got my brother's dog's in the other room over here, and she's a big old huge thing. But her spirit was absolutely broken when she came here.
Right.
I mean, Phoenix. I don't remember if you ever met Phoenix, but she was kind of like Samara. Yes, she wasn't quite that bad, but Phoenix, her spirit was broken. You put a leash on this dog, even on a flat collar, or even move towards her. If your hand comes towards her, she just flattened out on the ground, just completely like, oh my God, life is over. I died. You're going to kill me. And this dog is a machine now. I took her in. We trained her. It was through Mouse Rescue, Balance Bullies Rescue Rehab.
Yes.
And I trained her. And then my brother ended up taking her. He wanted a dog that was bold and drivey and liked to do water sports and stuff. Well, this dog couldn't even walk. I mean, it was so afraid. You know, it's a 30-pound dog in a 90-pound dog frame. She's 90 pounds now because we got her healthy and good. But yeah, I don't want him to be a robot. How often do you hear that? Matter of fact, there's a dog trainer that says that all the time. Doesn't need to be a robot about my dogs. Like, no, basic, simple obedience, social obedience isn't a robot. It's like, this is what we do. This is how we do it. That's just like the basic minimum things that you have to do. But these same people are the ones that, you know, the dog's in a head loop, noose, whatever you call it, snoot loop kind of thing. And they're dragging the dog all around and thinking it's obedience. And all their clients are doing the same thing. It's like, it's not a trained dog. It's a managed dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my opinion. If you have to do the stuff for the dog, if your leash isn't loose, right? I can't do this. This is upside down backwards. But if your leash doesn't have that big slack loop in there, that little J at the bottom, nice loose, and your dog's not choosing to do the stuff, and you're constantly this short leash, pop, pop, check, check, or the head halty, or the e-collar, or the thing, or the prong collar or something, your dog's not trained, right? You could be in training if you're doing it correctly, or it could just be in management, and you're going to do.
That's why they call them training collars. That's why they call them training.
Yeah, if you perpetually manage the dog, don't call it a trained dog. It's not a trained dog.
Yeah.
I don't like these 2-week board and train things where they're, hey, we'll send you back a trained dog completely trained in 2 weeks or 7 days or 3 days or whatever, because it's not a trained dog. It's a managed dog that learned how to respond to some tools and some pressure from the handler in some degree, but it's not trained.
And they respect the tool, not the handler.
Exactly. Give me puppies. Linda, you should come over for puppy class, Linda.
Yeah, I need to come over for puppy class. And speaking of which, I just had some guests show up, so I need to wrap this up, buddy. But,
Thanks, buddy.
So how do people find you? Sparks Canine?
What's that? SparksK9.com.
Okay, let me put that on the crawler here.
I can't do this right. There we go. God, everything's backwards now.
Sparks Canine. I don't even know here.
I'm going to put the background for you. SparksK9.com.
I put Balance Bully up there.
It's pretty easy. Yeah. Yep.
There we go. So Sparks here. I'm gonna type it over here. Sparks Canine. I'm gonna type it in the call.
Balance Bully Rescue.
And Balance Bully. And I got a dog from Balance Bully's Rescue, and that's what I actually took one of the dogs through the Keeler course.
And you really did, yeah. She did awesome too. I got videos of that. I can show people if they want to see what you did. She did great, right? Yeah. She did the same work for me. I didn't have to train her. She already knew it.
That's right. Absolutely.
I don't know if you knew or not. She died. She had brain cancer, and she died.
Yeah.
Here, yeah. Sweet little dog.
God bless her. God bless her. So my dog.
Oh, I love you.
Going
How could you not?
But all right, Johnny. Well, thank you, buddy. Sparks Canine. Check it out. And then when you go live with your online program, when everything's good, let's go live again. And then
it's pretty close, man. I got a few finishing touches and things like that. And I think I'm gonna have Linda do some beta reading on it and make sure everything looks cool.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a good thing, and it really does. I'm trying to pay some homage to all the Keeler folks before me, like Tony, and because I did Keeler for a long time, but I sucked at it. It was all yank and crank what we learned from back in the day, and then Tony really helped me clean that up a lot of things that I thought I knew I didn't, and Tony helped me clean that up a ton. So.
Well, shout out to Tony Anchetta. If anybody wants to know, some of the nuance
to learn
of the old school methods, and I think that some of the fairest methods.
Yeah.
Tony Anchetta.
Yeah, good stuff. There's a lot of good people on there. There's good people out there to learn from. And Keeler's not the only thing I do, but it's like kind of our base for like that basic social obedience.
I think it's a big piece of it, and just to give you that understanding, bridges those gaps, between other methodologies, and also shows you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
good stuff. Good chat, Billy.
Yeah, good. Thank you, buddy. So we'll be back in touch. Let me know when that's live, and then we'll have John back on and check him out. Sparks Canine. He's in Monroe, Washington, just north of Seattle, Washington. And yeah, thank you, buddy. So I will call you here in just a second to say goodbye. But everybody else, let's say goodbye now. And thanks for joining us. And don't forget to hit the share button. So share this out.
Yeah, share. All right, guys.